Hey guys, this is Wesley, and this is assignment 5, I believe, 5.1 maybe. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about iteration and kind of staying on an iterative task and becoming better at problem solving through iteration and not really going off topic too much. So this is sort of the first backpack that we really produced. This was the Tuesday presentation backpack, and the cut files as well. And so really I kind of went off of this and starting with the shoulder heart protector thing. Really, the idea of this is some sort of protection, as well as I think a biometric measurement tool. So this kind of came from our exploration over Valentine's of hearts and things that matter to us, and I chose my knife, which I carry around. I carry on me daily, and part of that, a small part of that, was protection, but I chose to run with that, and started sort of, along the lines of our previous homework, started creating an idea of protecting the heart and being some sort of backpack as well. So it sort of came into an armor category, and with our other conversation about health, I think it would be a good, this would be possibly a good chance to measure biometrics, especially since it's so close to the armpit, and it can start measuring sweat to give you some feedback. So going from there, I started thinking. I gave our model a pretty sweet haircut, and started thinking about, if this is just protecting the heart, then maybe it should be protecting the brain as well. The iterative quality of this becomes apparent as you start moving down the line. So here's the original shoulder pad, and then connecting that to the brain comma, sort of what it looks like to me, and connecting those two, and then unrolling that. So here are the file is ready to cut. So this is just for the headpiece, and since I already have the cut file ready for the shoulder pad part. Just a quick side note: I've actually become pretty comfortable with our specific production process with cardboard. Unrolling these, they're not always perfect, but I found that by simply just moving the pieces that are overlapping away a little bit, this becomes a pretty good technique for producing these backpacks with cardboard. It's pretty easy to put them back together. It's pretty clear how they go together. So, all right, and then starting. So going from here, that was kind of one iteration from the original shoulder pad, and I started thinking that maybe this was quite large, and a couple other things that maybe it would be hard to attach. And I started thinking about other ideas, but the point is that I carried on in the same vein as my idea. So I continued with some sort of protective measure around the body, and that would also be like have an ability to measure the health and quality of the body. So this is like the second iteration of that. And I saw this, and I really like the look of this. I think that this is really cool, and I think this would even look great in cardboard. Kind of the way that you can still be able to use the inside of your hand, but have it protected and covered by the outside with this faceted, triangulated cardboard cover, I think is a really cool idea. This looks, for right now, a little too not necessarily complicated, but maybe like a little bit too many moving parts for where I'm heading, where I think we're heading, which is sort of keeping a more general idea, and then I think we'll sort of boil down a little bit. But the idea is that I'll keep this in the back of my head, or really on this file saved. And then, so as you can see, I move from right to left, and when I find something that I like, I move backwards this way. So here, moving from the arm piece, this is some armbands, and the thinking behind this is that it would be some sort of carpal tunnel protection, because we use our hands slightly differently, or at least I do, when I'm working on my computer. Usually my left hand is resting on my computer and my right hand is moving the mouse. And thinking about the ways that my wrists and hands move while I'm working on my computer, this would be a really possibly good chance to protect from carpal tunnel, as well as really make an aesthetically pleasing wristband. So this is from my previous iteration of the armband, sort of just contracting that entire kind of like large piece, and coming up with an entirely different mode of or design here, I guess. And that's really like one of the great things about this iterative process. I didn't start anywhere close to like a carpal tunnel wristband, but the process getting there is very clear, even though excuse me, it's a very different design. It's a clear road from one point to the next. So here, files are ready to cut, and that's going to be the next step here. I think if this sort of continues to be a good idea in my mind. Yeah, thanks.